So we've identified the problem. There is a pandemic of female delusion in 2021. It is not getting any better. Gentlemen, around the panel, one after the other. I'll start with John. I'm just going to kind of go clockwise on my screen around. But what is your solution for men living in 2021 on the issue of female delusion? The thing that bugs me about a lot of channels out there is all they do is they bring red meat, but they don't bring solutions. With Rule Zero, I want actionable advice. Guys, dispense now. John Fitch, go ahead.
Right. So a frame above everything, because their delusions are only going to affect you if you allow them to pull you out of your frame and who you are and what you're doing. Like I said also earlier with a lot of stuff with these chicks, hey, you treat it like your kids telling you about their superhero collection or whatever. You don't need to correct them. You don't need to tell them or explain them or break out graphs and numbers and tell them why they're wrong. Just make them laugh and have fun and just know that you're probably better off not settling until you're much older, 35 or so. So get the experience to find someone maybe who's not as deluded when you're ready to settle down, if you ever want to do that, which I don't know if it's even worth it these days. Just get them pregnant if you want to have kids.
Ryan, what is the solution to female delusion?
As I could argue the self-proclaimed optimist on this panel, I'm telling you there's two things that can give you hope. That's lugs and lads. If you guys don't know the acronym, that's lesbians until graduation and lesbians after divorce. What that means is that girls are pure limbic brain. The problem with everything we've talked about here before is guys are talking to frontal lobe. Chicks say this, chicks want that. That's all their frontal lobe. Guys think that's what girls mean because our frontal lobe and our limbic system are kind of connected, our instincts and our thinking. Girls is completely separate. Lesbians until graduation tells you that a girl can believe she's a lesbian in her heart of hearts until she graduates, and then all of a sudden she likes dick again. If a girl can decide, and as a guy, there is no way you're like, yeah, I was gay for like 5 years, but then I gave it up. It just wasn't for me. Never happens. So that lets you know girls are moldable. You will have your own Lacey Green out there. If you don't know, she was a feminist. She was like a sex positive feminist. Men were bad this, men were bad that. Got a good dicking. All of a sudden she became red pilled and it's talking about the glory of men. So yeah, girls will act as shitty as you let them. And all of these ones you see acting like a piece of shit on Myron's thing or a piece of shit on like Rich's feed, those are chicks that just haven't met the right dick to get them to stop all this nonsense. Now, if it's not you, it's not your fucking problem. That's the other part. Stop dwelling on ain't shit chicks. Let them be ain't shit and go be shit somewhere with a girl who's more pleasant and better looking. There's always an attractive woman out there as long as you just keep the fatties and the psychos away from you. And I'll leave it on that. Remember, they're only a lesbian until they find a good dick, apparently.
Yeah, true story. All right, Aaron, let him have it. What is the solution to delusional women?
Very simple. Stay above the fray. When I flew out to Miami, I watched 1917 because I was on Delta and you could watch movies. So it was pretty cool. And you're just looking at the trench warfare and all this chaos and everything going on. But then there's a couple scenes where there's some biplanes flying over. And you guys can ask why and how and where, or you could just be a top value guy. And that's what I mean, stay above the fray. You want to be that pilot flying over no man's land. You don't want to be in no man's land in the trenches. And for the amount, it's a lot of hard work. You got to go to the gym. You got to work out. You got to earn some money, whatever else. That's a lot of work and effort, but that is less pain and agony. And I would say less overall effort over the course of your life than some guy wallowing as a 7. He's like top 30, 35%, just isn't. Get them to become that guy and have the girls do all the work. And you going to the gym 2 hours a day is going to do a hell of a lot more and save you a hell of a lot more time than going to a nightclub or going on Tinder or dating profiles and things like that. And there's 2 books, all right? There's this thing called The Book of Numbers and some unknown rookie author who may have had some marginal success with this one. But surprise, surprise, in both of the books, even though Rich and I did not collaborate or correspond on this, I think it's my final chapter. I know, Rich, I think it may be your final chapter. Wow, we came up with the same conclusions. Become a high value guy. And just avoid all this. Avoid the headache. Avoid the hassle. Just be that top guy where the girls are throwing themselves at you, and then you don't have to worry about it. It's just an easier. So that's my practical advice for all the men out there.
All right. The English gentleman, what is the solution to delusional women in 2021?
Two solutions, right? So I agree with everything that's been said so far. Be high value, 100%. Frame, mega important. Don't allow your frame to slip. Self-improvement in order to become high value. But two additional solutions. The first one is volume, and the second one is arbitrage, okay? Volume, you've got to be going out there and you've got to just be talking to a load of different women, okay? It's got to just be part of your lifestyle. You know, whether you're doing daytime approach, whether you do it day game, whether you're doing, night game when the club's open, whether you're doing Tinder or a combination of all of them. You need to just be talking to a large volume of different women so that you are bringing different people into your life. And then you shouldn't have to be worried about this nonsense. You don't have to be dealing with the short-haired Karen who's breaking your balls about the fact that you're not a CEO or whatever it is. Just don't date them. And the second thing is arbitrage. Okay, if you're in a country where this is a major problem, and I speak as someone who's sitting here in the UK, and many of my brothers on this panel are in the United States of America, get the hell out, go somewhere else. I mean, it's kind of difficult at the moment with COVID, but I have friends in Brazil. I have friends in the former Soviet Union. I've got friends in Russia itself. And they are not dealing with these issues in the main because culturally it's not a thing. So if you have volume and you just take the opportunity to step on a plane and go somewhere else, you won't have to deal with half of this nonsense. Just don't entertain it is the bottom line. The kinds of women that Myron was interviewing on that show that you guys were chatting to, if I was out in a bar situation, I just wouldn't even deal with those women. Do you know what I mean? I mean, okay, yeah, it's kind of entertaining to watch and it's instructive and stuff, but in my real life, I just don't engage with it at all. So that would be my tips.
All right. Rollo, the rational male, how do we deal with delusional women in 2021?
Delusional. Well, I think I agree with what everybody has said up to this point, and I probably will agree with everybody who comes after me. So I'm just going to throw that out there right now. I have said this, and I'll say this again, is I think men and women are better together than we are apart. And up until now, because of what gynocentrism or whatever the sexual revolution, whatever, we have sort of created a Western society that we are globally exporting right now that is creating this. It's funding this. It's creating this. It's a gynocracy, right? It's a social order by women for women. But I think if last week didn't teach you anything, it should teach you this: is that women are necessitous. And when they get to be 29 or 31, they don't realize how necessitous they are until they get to that point where they're like, oh my God, now I know that I cannot compete in the sexual marketplace anymore. I still feel entitled to having the best of the best. But when they are faced with the idea of seeing the next crop of 22-year-olds come into the sexual marketplace, that's when they sort of have to have their epiphany, right? And I think it behooves men right now, if you want to deal with delusional women, I say don't deal with them at all. I would definitely agree with Aaron, is try to stay above all of this. But in staying above it, you have to understand that the more valuable you make yourself as a man, the more you're going to have to protect yourself. I told Fresh this as well. I said, when you guys, like Myron, when you guys are doing your show and everything, you have to be very careful, because what will happen is you'll get some random girl on there who says that you sexually harassed her on that show, or she'll try to lock you down with a unplanned pregnancy. There's lots of ways that women try to hedge their bets, let's just say, in the sexual marketplace by using the gynocentric social order against you, whether you're going to marry them or not. So you have to be very careful of how far you go with these chicks when you have them on, because again, you're going to, at some point along the way, you're going to get to the girl who's going to file some sort of report or something against you for that. So you've got to protect yourself, and that, I think that really kind of goes for most guys as it is right now. So and remember, like harassment, rape, all that other stuff does not have a statute of limitations. So you've got to be very careful in your dealings with this, assuming you want to deal with them at all. But when you get to a point where you are like the made guy, right? When Rich says, you know, the finish line where women are waiting to bang the winners, when you get to that point, you have to realize that you are in a position of sexual selection and you are in a position of power that most women will never attain in their lifetime because they're already past it. So when you go and you're 36 years old and you want to get with a girl who, like the guy who's saying 39 and he was banging some 23-year-old girl, that's the level of sexual selectivity you will have when you get to that point. Most guys, when they get there, they blow their load or they shoot their load before they even get to that point, and that's when they have like the epiphany phase of their own, which is really sort of their midlife crisis. You have to see the forest for the trees. So when you're down in the trenches, like Aaron was saying, if you're up above that and you see things sort of in the long term, when I get to this point, I will have more sexual selectivity. Then I'll decide whether I want to have kids, who I want to get with, who's worth getting with. Thinking of yourself in, you know, mental point of origin, right? Thinking of yourself as these are the decisions that I'm going to make that are going to benefit whoever else that I happen to get with later on. Doesn't mean you have to be like, you know, Dr. Evil or anything. It's just like you're in a position where you can make those good choices. And when you get to that point, that's, I think, the point at which we can start changing society a little bit more. When enough guys are unplugged from the matrix and they understand this stuff and they understand what their value is, that's when women get threatened. That's when women get like nervous. When a guy understands his own sexual market or his own real value to women, that's when women get really threatened. That's why the girls who are on all of these shows, that they'll default to that emotional response, because they realize that ultimately the guy that they want to get with, the highest value guy that they want to get with, he's in a position of selectivity that they will never enjoy. And if they do, it's only for a very brief time in their lives. So they're looking at you. That's why women see men as like, oh, the patriarchy, and they're oh so powerful. They have a potential for power that far exceeds a woman's over the course of a lifetime. But most guys never realize that because they sell out before they get to that point. So it's those realizations, unlearning that blue pill conditioning. I think that's number one. And we're starting to see guys right now suddenly wake up to the value that the red pill has had for 20 freaking years right now. And now everybody wants a piece of that. So here we are right now, and guys are starting to pick up on this. And you know what? Women are getting nervous. All the chicks that were on Myron's show last week, they're all getting nervous. And so they default to that emotional response. And then lastly, I think that we need to be careful that we don't get wrapped up in the emotional high and the outrage brokership or the YouTube blood sport rush that comes from holding a woman accountable. Finally, after 65 years of women, you know, yay, women, you know, team woman, gynocentrism, whatever. Finally, after 65 some odd years of that, guys are saying, you know what? Here's the facts. Here's what's going on. We have the internet. We have the data. You know, we've been aggregating this over in the red pill for over 20 years, and now we're presenting our case, and women are getting nervous. And I think we get wrapped up too much in the MGTOW kind of thing where it's like, yeah, women are going to get theirs. They're going to get their comeuppance. And I think we need to make sure that if we're going to do that as sort of an attraction, like the sizzle is the attraction to bring guys in to understand this, or even women to understand this, that there also has to be substance that goes along with that.
Myron, you're up next. Before I put you on the screen, we have almost 3,500 people watching.
Hey.
And just over 1,000 thumbs up. Take your mouse, your thumb on your tablet, whatever you're on, just slide it over, hit the thumbs up button. There's 29 delusional women that hit the thumbs down. Do me a favor, hit the thumbs up. Myron, you're up, buddy, full screen. What is the solution to the delusion of women in 2021?
There's no solution for them. The only solution for men is this, because women aren't going to concede any of the levers they have in the marketplace. So the only thing you could do as a guy is, as I was saying earlier, is become high value, because what feminism has done really is it's really put the top 5% or 5 to 10% of men in the driver's seat, because all the women are chasing them now since they don't need the provisioning anymore. So I say this: keep it short and sweet. Get your value up high and then work more volume. A lot of guys' problems that come with women stem 90% of the time from not working enough volume. I agree 100% with Troy. You got to get out there, use online dating. You got to cold approach girls at the club, bar, grocery store, whatever it is. You got to use social circle game, Instagram, everything. Leverage all your assets to get after. If you want to meet women, to get out there and meet women, because the thing is this: since women are so delusional, the flake rate is high. What's happened is, since women are delusional, have a higher perceived sense of worth, they flake on more guys than ever before. Even top shelf guys get flaked on. So the only way you're going to combat that is you got to work a lot of volume. So get your value high, work a lot of volume, and you're going to have a lot better success.
All right. Modern life dating. Johnny boy, what's up, brother? What is the solution?
Oh man, you just gotta forget about them. Like, just chad the fuck out. Go to the gym a lot. Get in shape. And right now, when in doubt, we're kind of in this limbo position in human history with this whole beer bug situation. So just figure out how to make more money. That's what we're talking about right now. On with what's going on with Charlie's course, and I've been doing the Tokyo Crypto Show forever. But these girls, they're just like, they're totally not worth anything other than like straight up ejaculate and evacuate. This is what they have reduced themselves to. No, I don't want to cook for no man. No, I don't need your money. No, I'm not going to clean up after you. What, am I your mother? Okay, so what's that reduced you to? That has reduced you to a sexual object.
I'd rather die alone.
Yeah, I'd rather die alone, or here's my dog, blah, 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 right? So guys, and honestly, look, I'm one of the few that put my money where my mouth is. I saw where America was going. I said, fuck this. I am not spending my sexual prime in this shithole. And I booked it out to a first world nation in Asia, and I'm living the dream. I am living the dream. My sex life is fantastic. I am satiated. I'm a little sick right now. I have women nursing me back to health. I am living the dream. If you have the balls and the resources, whether you do online work, remote work, or property management, you own a couple properties, and you can get out, you don't have kids, child support, none of that, get the fuck out of America. Go live somewhere else. It is totally like the rest of the world is a pretty nice place. That's what I say. But at the end of the day, like, look, and these girls, that fucking that Dumbo arm Karen chick on Myron's channel, dude, that chick she's just a testimony. These girls they're like, like when you watch a zombie movie and like the zombie is just like this incorrigible sick like thing, like there's no reasoning with it. Like that's what this is what happens when these girls take the feminism pill. They just become like these feminism zombies, and you can either fucking kill them or just let them go kill themselves. That's the only way to solve it. So we're not going to kill these bitches, but like, that's like an easy way to put it. They are mentally like brainwashed, and a lot of them don't figure it out. So buy cat food stock, like fucking bet on whatever it takes to monetize their fall, because I do not give a good goddamn.
Paul, you kind of hit on yours in your rant earlier. Can you sum it up in a couple of minutes again, just what the solution is to the delusion in 2021?
Yeah, I co-sign what everybody's saying, of course, and we're all saying similar things, just in different ways. But the level of we'll say your quality of life, all right, with women and the women in your life is a function of your sexual market value, your skill with women, and opportunity. Okay, those three things. So if you don't have good experiences with women in your life, you're lacking in one of those three things. All right, you got to work on your SMV, work on your skill, which oftentimes means doing less. More. All right, so alpha guys actually do less, and they get bigger results with women. All right, so just kind of think about that, because a lot of you guys are trying way too hard. You know what I mean? And the guys will get discouraged. God, it's so much work. Juice isn't worth the squeeze. No, it's very little effort, actually. Once you have the skill set, it's pretty effortless. Use a quick jujitsu example, right? If a black belt's rolling with a bunch of white belts, it's pretty effortless for him. You know what I mean? To make these guys tap out, because he has a high level of skill. Whenever you have a high level of skill with something, that means you put as much effort or time or energy in order to get the results that you want. So boost your skill up too. Boost your skill up with women, learn game, learn how to maintain your frame, right? Be that alpha guy, which cuts right through the bullshit, all the delusion and stuff that's out there. You cut right through it when you know how to as I say, speak to her vagina, right? And last thing I just want to expand on, okay, vagina whisper. Last thing I want to expand on is opportunity, all right? There's also the issue of opportunity cost. So, Myron is dead on, Troy's dead on with, getting out there and getting your numbers up. But it's not just getting your numbers up. There's the other part, which is opportunity cost, which means nexting women very quickly. All right. A lot of you guys let women into your lives that are fives, that are not good partners, even as casual partners. Existing into your life, they bring you problems. I estimate about 7 out of 10 women are not going to be good women at all for you to bring into your life. And out of the 3 out of the 10 that could be a good compliment, 2 of them either aren't going to like you or you're not going to like them. You got about a 10% chance out there. And so if you're not nexting women, which is what spinning plates is, not just about having a harem of women. It's about getting rid of women that don't compliment you. You're missing opportunities then. You're focusing because you only have a finite amount of energy and time you can put into something in a 24-hour a week basis. So you put your energy and time into women that are just not worth it. They're not a good time. They're not compliments. And so stop doing that, right? Next these women. And my final thought is just be the example. Like, guys are got these trad cons like going to save the world through institutions. How about just save your household? You know what I mean? Save yourself. Because here's what happens. When you save yourself, you have I'm having a great time with women in my life. A great time. In the United States, in the Detroit area, which is arguably like the worst area to have a time with women. All right. Like there's a lot of not so good women around me, but it doesn't matter. I have a great time. Well, what happens is the women that you have in your life become an advocate for you and your behavior because they have emotional buy-in. I mean, you guys are busy on a date trying to argue with a girl over a 50-50 partnership and trying to out reason and logic her into, going to try to reason your way into her vagina and into her not being a feminist. It's not going to work. What you need is emotional buy-in. Women do things and make changes due to their emotions and how they feel about it. So you have to have what I call buy-in. All right. So when you're creating great experiences for yourself and de facto they're having great experiences, you become an example. More people want to be like you. More girls want what you have, want what her girlfriend has, what my LTR has, that sort of thing. And that's how you make some changes. You just focus on you. And there's a ripple effect. If all you guys in the chat right now, or all you guys watching right now, 3,000 of would just work on you right now, and that would have that ripple effect within your circles, make a much bigger difference than trying to attack an institution. So,
all right. The final word from yours truly. I saved the super chat to kind of put it up to sum up what I wanted to talk about. I think everybody's got very good points. The goddamn bacon says, solution, become the 5%, let them chase you. You always lose progress chasing women. You never lose women chasing progress. You're the catch here. There's a reason why these are on my mugs, right? Shout out to the Teespring store and the merch store. But I don't think that you can put enough emphasis on yourself, setting boundaries, and not giving a fuck, basically. I mean, everybody made some excellent points, and it really boils down to be a top shelf man, set boundaries and enforce them, and have options. And that's really what it boils down to. And yes, there'll be a lot of delusion out there. And yes, you're going to have to point to the front door and tell a lot of them to pound sand, and you'll ghost them, and you're going to have a little bit of drama from time to time. But there still are some very, decent, I'm not going to say, there's the one out there for you, but there's some decent women out there that want to enter your frame, that want to complement your life, that want to go along for the ride and aren't going to, routinely, continuously, ongoingly shit test you over dumb shit that is based on female delusion. You're constantly going to have to enforce the boundaries, though. It's just the reality of it all.